There was an outpouring of grief as the bodies of 4 dead hostages taken by Hamas were returned to Tel Aviv. They're believed to be a mother and her 2 young children and a peace activist in his 80s taken alive during the October the 7th attacks in 2023. Israel's President Herzog said the hearts of an entire nation lie in tatters. Paul Adams has more from Tel Aviv.
It was the day all Israelis dreaded, hoped against hope would never happen. The return of the dead. The Red Cross publicly asked Hamas not to put on a show, tried as much as possible to add a little dignity. But Hamas has its own agenda. Making it easier for Israelis to watch is not part of it. 16 months on from October the 7th, it all came surging back. This was the moment Hamas gunmen forced their way into the Bibas house. A mother's terror as she sought to protect her young sons, one of that day's most searing images. Hamas says Shiri, her boys, Kefir and Ariel, and veteran peace campaigner Oded Lifshitz were all killed by Israeli bombs. The truth of that claim may never be known. Israel now says Mr. Lifshitz was murdered. Back on Israeli soil, a solemn convoy as the bodies were brought to Tel Aviv for formal identification. In Hostages Square, where these moments are seen and digested, a wave of grief. The Bibas family have come to symbolize the hopes and fears of a nation.
People have been holding their breath for 502 days. And we've all seen the video of Shiri Bibas and her 2 sons being taken away. And I think many of us have been trying to kind of bury that, and now we can't.
In 2 days' time, the mood here in Hostages Square will change again as the country prepares to welcome home another 6 living hostages. But the trauma of October the 7th has not faded away, and days like today bring it back into sharp, painful focus. Back in the wastelands of Gaza, they're also looking for bodies. 72 people were killed by an airstrike on this building exactly a year ago. It's been too dangerous to come and search before now. My 2 sisters are here, Mustafa says, and my niece and 2 of my cousins. 5 floors came down, one on top of the other. We haven't been able to get anyone out. We just want to bury them. This war's trail of death and suffering is hard to comprehend. They can lay the dead to rest, but the war still isn't over. The grief is endless. Paul Adams, BBC News, Tel Aviv.